Guys, what's going on? In this video, I will be doing the 3rd gen 4Runner cup holder mod. So basically what this is going to cover is your 1996 to 98 Toyota 4Runners, which is like the kind of first part of the 3rd generation. So this is basically what we're changing. So this is where a cup holder should be, but instead they did this terrible design where basically your cup holder's right there. So the goal of this is going to be to eliminate that and put cup holders down here like they are in the 99 through 2002. So this is going to be what you want. You want a e-brake from a 99 to 2002. It just makes it a lot easier. There's the actual unit. Alright, so I just undid this screw. I just used a screwdriver. It's a very small screw that we're taking out here. The next spot is going to be popping this part out. So we're lifting the top off, and you're just going to pull on this. So get your finger right in there, and just kind of lift up. Not too hard. Take that out of there, and just go ahead and lift this up and off. We'll leave it to the side right now because I am going to have to undo those clips. And I'll show you how to do that in a little bit here. But for now, I'm just going to lift that up. I'm going to get to the other screw from right here on the other side. We're going to undo this. The new e-brake will go here, but we're going to take this off. I'll show you what I have to do for the other clips there. Another thing I'm going to address right now. So I do have the back window switch right here. We'll have to move. Next step is going to be going in here. So this is where the armrest is. I already took out one bolt. Basically just go in here, unscrew the other one. Next up, we're just going to go in here, unplug everything from there, carefully push that through. So that's going to be the next step. And these just slide out. So for now, I'll probably reconnect this here so that I can remember what cord goes to what when I reposition it. But yeah, so little things like this will go a long way in an install like this, because when you're moving cords, you really don't want to forget what goes where. That will screw everything up. It pulls up. There's nothing fancy to it. There's clips. You just pull on it. And again, everything's gentle, especially when you're dealing with these older trucks. But yeah, just pull it up. It pops off. Okay, so now that we've popped this off, we've taken this off, right? We've undid the screws in here. This thing is very loose. Basically now we just got to go back here to the rear heater controls I was talking about earlier. Pull this cap off for the switch. Don't lose it. Just place it somewhere where you're going to find it. Then literally just lift the whole unit and pull it backwards. So it'll be very loose like this, and then it basically will just lift up and off, and we'll pull those cables through right there at the plastic where it's getting stuck, and we'll have it fully removed. So this is a really helpful tip right here. So this is for the security tab. Basically right here there's two clips here that made it pretty much impossible. It wasn't like the other ones to pull it through. This bottom one is the microphone. That just pulls out. This top one has little brackets that you can see here. If you come in with a very thin flathead screwdriver, you can actually just kind of get underneath it and it'll pop right out. That allows you to get this out, which you need, and then basically this whole thing will come out. You slide it through, boom. And that is helpful. You need to get rid of that. So that took me a minute to figure out, but now you guys don't have to. This little clip right here, that's for the rear heater. You need to unplug that right before you pull everything off. But this is what you'll be left with when you pull everything off. The rear heater's back there. Obviously the e-brake's here. You have a little sensor for your e-brake. That clip there, you undo it, pull it off. Well, basically I'm in park right now, of course. I'm in a flat garage, so I'm not going to worry too much. You should block the back wheels. I just don't have them with me, so I'm not gonna. But I'm going to decompress the e-brake, and then I believe I just unscrew that bolt, which goes to the brake lever. It's a brake cable. And then we'll pop this off. So it was that easy. So basically there's a bolt there that you can see is undone. There's a bolt there that I've undone, and then there's this tiny little bolt up here for the brake cable. That was the hardest one to get off, but you pretty much just loosen it. But once you break it free, very simple. So just get that off. You saw I was having some problems pulling it out, but basically you just pull it. I used some pliers and I just peeled this metal tab back. As soon as I pulled that back, the brake cable slipped right out. It's now right there, and we will hook up the new e-brake. Putting the new e-brake on was really as simple as it looked. You just redid the bolts, tightened everything back up, and that was that. So not that tough. You gotta trim it down. That's like the hardest part of this whole procedure. As you can see, I used a razor blade. Screwed up pretty good, but I mean, you're not going to see this part, so that doesn't matter. But you basically need to make it fit. So you got to go through here, trim all the black pieces, and then do this to the other side to make it trim. Alright guys, so we're all trimmed up now. This side is trim, that side is trim. Really everything we need for these to go on. I mentioned you need to trim these black pieces that stick out right there. You really don't. The way I'm going to show you, I only trimmed right here. That's up to you. Now at this point, this is very important, so I want you to pay attention. You should be at least on your third beer. If you're not at least on your third beer, something's gone wrong. You're probably going to have to repeat a few of these steps. So make sure you're doing that. Now I want to show you basically the problem that we're about to come up to. We have everything trimmed, and we're looking at this. So if I put the ruler on the back of the unit, the mounting brackets for this new piece are at about 6.5, maybe 7 inches. We're close to there. Now if we look at the old one, this is the one that came stock on the 98 model that I had, the original one, the first part of the 3rd gen series. We're between 7 and 8 inches, right at about 7.5 inches. So as you see, the mounting holes are different, right? The AC unit's the same, everything's the same, but this poses a problem. So a few things before we go worry about mounting it. You'll see that I did tape up these lines right there. As you can see there, you know, the tape kind of failed on the old one. It failed on the new one too, but I just used some Blues Painter's tape, worked that out. And then right here, I actually used the old cup holder and the old ashtray. They were much cleaner and they didn't stick. Then this right, quote unquote new, this salvage one I got stuck. So I got a new one, works much better. I recommend it. Okay guys, now this is where I'm going to address the problem. So basically this, I've already taken the bolt out. There's 3 screws here that hold the bolts right there, and right there. This holds the whole unit down in the middle, right? That's like where the center mounting bracket is. So traditionally there's 2 things you can do. If you look up in the forums, there's 2 things you can do. One is, because we already know that we need to move these holes back in order to mount the new one. So if you look on the forums, your 2 options are going to basically be get some vice grips, a hammer, welder, however the hell you're going to do it, and you'd bend this back. Now you might not be able to see it in the video, but this is way too hard for me. I mean, I would just screw it up. It's not that I couldn't bend it. I would just screw it up in the process, right? Now the other option that you'll see, and supposedly very easy, is drilling holes into the frame, and basically getting longer screws and just drilling it straight in the frame like that. Or, you know, it's not really the frame, but you know what I mean. Now, I'm not going to do either. So I kind of did some trial and error on this. I'm just not going to use this at all. So I'm a pretty light driver. I rarely go off-road. I usually keep a decent amount of stuff on the inside of it. So I've already tested this. I know it works. But basically what we're going to do, the rear heater unit holds it securely up front. We have a couple screws up here that hold it in. And then we have these 2 things called seats that hold the rest of it in. So you really don't even need to do the middle part. Alright guys, next up we got to take the 4 screws off. So there's one there, and there. We got to take those off to get this panel down so we can put the switches in here. Somehow I couldn't get that screw out on the bottom left there. I tried everything. But really all you need to do is take the top left and the 2 right ones out to kind of pull that down. Next, all of this is going to be taped up. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's way too difficult to go through here and kind of film while I'm doing this. my razor blade's right there. Pretty much take your time, go real easy and gentle, cut all the tape, and then we're going to bring it around down here. We're going to bring it up, basically pull it through there, through this panel under the steering wheel. We're going to bring it around and then bring them through those holes right there. I haven't locked it up yet, but basically this is a new button configuration. Alright guys, and then here is the finished product. So, I put my phone mount there again. Here's the cup holders. Makes life a million times easier. Again, you really can only appreciate this if you've had to drive around or own a 96 through 98 4Runner. You have these as a backup if you really need them, but honestly I will probably never use those again. They get in the way. Now I got my cup holders down here. Gosh, it's just going to be so nice. I'll even show you. So there's a pocket in here. That's going to be really useful. It's extra storage. They're two pretty decent sized cup holders. There is a little pocket down here under the e-brake. My remote for my head unit kind of fits perfectly, so I just leave that there. But I do have a storage there again. Your standard hole that you can fit a bunch of stuff in up here on the armrest, and then it actually pops and you have a smaller hole up top. Really great, totally worth it. The buttons that were here, I showed you a short clip a moment ago. Let me bring you back. So they're right here now. Security pop there. The reason I have that there is the cords were the only ones long enough to fit up there. Wasn't my first choice, but it is what it is. And then I had to put the window and the tow button side by side to make them fit. Again, not my first choice, not how I would have wanted to do it. But that's just kind of how it ended up. So they work. They don't fit perfectly, but honestly, after about a day of using them, you can't tell. I'm totally used to it, and I'm happy with it. The point of this mod was not so much to move the buttons, but to have functional cup holders, which I now have. So drop a comment if you have any questions. I tried to edit out all the bullshit as much as I could. So thanks again. Leave a thumbs up if you like it. See you next time.